milk, yeah, but I've always believed, like, you know, if you look at the glycemic index, you've all heard that in nutrition. What you're looking for is you're not looking for the fast release sugars, you're looking for the sugars that are slow. And like, I think milk in particular has all the components because why? Because of our players, potassium, bones, bone structures, and also I believe it lends players to recovery in a soothing effect. I haven't got scientific information on it, but I'm actually coming to the conclusions myself, and from discussing it with other people that I've been involved with over the years and teams, I would substitute today milk, and I have Willow with the team at the moment in the after training recovery. How we have milk on board, so I'm going away from the use of the products that are there, because as well as that, then there's a dental problem as well. Like, you know, you drink too much sugar as your teeth do when you're dentist and all that. So that's it. Anyone else question there? Let's. No, just one other thing I just want to say about hydrating, right? You go out down the road there in a minute, right, and you'll see 2 or 3 fellas and a girl are running along the road, right? And they're running along and they're carrying a bottle of water with them, yeah? And they're out for 15 minutes or 20 minutes running, right? Scientific studies have shown, lads, that you only need 125 mils of water every 20 to 25 minutes. So if you're properly hydrated, you'd actually nearly get from the start of your game to half time without any fella needing a drop of water if he's properly hydrated. And if a player is properly hydrated, his concentration levels will be so high in the game that he actually won't look for it, because his concentration will be within the game. His focus will be within the game, and he'll be there. What you'll find is when you have players that are undernourished or underhydrated, is that they go into the game, the coach on the sideline is roaring, "Johnny, for God's sake, come on and get going, get it going." That's one of the key components. Player he isn't comfortable in his own body, so he ain't comfortable in the environment that he's come into, which is the pitch outside and the game. So that's literally that question. Yeah.
So I tell you, this protein stuff that they talk to the kids after working with under 16s and on Sun 19, you know, the teachers recommending this protein, and I insist he has it after training. I prefer he didn't have it over your milk, but where's your views on this protein stuff?
See, to be very easy for me to say protein is, everyone should be on it, you know. I think, first of all, you have to I always believe that if you're being asked to do something like that in a group thing, that the individuality of the player or the person in question should be factored into it, and that's a personal choice if someone wants to go on it first and foremost, okay? If you want to go on something like that, then I believe that you should be educated properly in what it does for you and why you take it and why it's put in place. An awful lot of the proteins that are being given, just on a side thing, if you look at the content of the ingredients in them, an awful lot of them are very high in fibre. So the minute you take them, you lose the benefit of them because you excrete them straight away. So the benefit of it it's more of a financial, say, the manufacturers are getting the benefit because you're assuming you're getting some benefit, but you're not. Anytime I've ever been involved with any teams, and most teams I've got players, it takes me a while to talk to players about it. It takes me about 6 to maybe 12 months before I start talking to them about it, about the use of it. And then if I was even considering bringing it into play here in Antrim with the players I'm involved at the moment, first of all I would have to know that it was within the guidelines of the Sports Council down south, in case our team went down and they were tested, because an awful lot of these protein substances, they carry other elements within them, and those elements can actually lead to, say, if you have a player tested at inter-county level or whatever, it can lead you to have a bit of trouble down the line. But there are benefits for them. I use it myself. I've used it for 15 years. I use it as a substitute to food that I can't take. But saying that again, your body can only, like each and every one of us in here, like your body only can take so much food stuff in and absorb it. After that, once if you know the way you get it, you can go into a shop and you can get a big steak like the size like that, right? Or you can get a steak that size, we'll say. Or you can get a steak that size, right? You'll probably get more benefit out of that one. Because I believe, like I come from a background where I believe you eat a lot, but you eat over the course of a day, small amounts, gradual over the day. Because what will happen is if you eat that amount there, yeah, it looks great, it's big in your eyes, you know, it's a selfish health thing, and you take it. What happens is your body can only take maybe that much of it on board, and it excretes the rest. It's no good to you then. No good to you, like. But that's a big thing in sport today, the education of young lads in your clubs and that, in relation to their food intakes, in relation to their hydration. They're the two most important aspects that you can work on. So I suppose, is there any other question there from anyone, lads? I just hope that what we've talked about now is a bit more helpful. I couldn't do that outside, lads, because it's very windy this morning, and I felt that, to get your attention, that maybe we should just stay in here for a few minutes. And as I said, you won't learn much today out there really with the mechanics of running. I'll just concentrate on the second bit there, I suppose. What I'll do is I'll just concentrate when we go out and say the mobility drills there, just so that we get an idea what players are doing. Like, you've all seen these yourselves, and like in here, they're very, an awful lot of you're well able to adapt your own thoughts to warm-ups and to training and so forth. Like, but we're all learning from each other. It's amazing, I learn from people too all the time. I don't have all the answers. I learn. But the last thing I will say here before we do go out, one thing that always annoyed me when I was training juvenile teams, and I had a very good time training at home in Middleton. I had an under 8 or 6 team, and I brought them all the way to when they were 16. And they went to the 4 Premier County finals in Cork. So they went to 2 under 12s, the under 14 and the under 16. Now I always love telling this because the story is, like, we lost all of them. So it's not all about winning, it's about, being involved and keeping them going. We lost all 4 finals, But the thing about it was, I was very pleased when we finished at 16 was, I had 26 fellas when I started at 6. And when I got to 16 and they were going to the senior club in Middleton, I handed over 24. So that was 24 lads going in. Now inside in that group, lads, I had some fair characters that were being driven by fathers, had fellas that were in their heads every day, and that, but I was able to manage them from a very young age going forward, manage the people around them, and I never lost sight of what I was involved with. And that was, like, it's not all about winning in the game. It's about looking after your structure of your club, or bringing a whole group of young lads together from being young right through to when they go to your senior club. It's not about entertaining the best player all the time, lads, and never forget that. Because there was a man who taught me in school a long, long time ago. He was an old woodwork teacher, and he made a lot of sense when he'd be in the dressing room with us. He'd say, today's game will be lost or won if the 3 players out of the 15 that are having a bad day knuckle down and do the business. You'll always have your stars. The team is not about stars, it's about the sum of 15 or 18 players. So, like, you could be focusing on 4 very good players, and you could be a father and you could say, yeah, my Johnny is the best. But there could be 3 other fellas here that are left corner back or right corner forward. The right corner back over here that might be pure limited in their skill application, but could be the winning and losing of your matches. And they're the fellas that I think that coaching should be, the areas of concentration should be worked on in clubs and so forth, are your weaker players. Your training session is never devalued if you can come off the field and say, yeah, I helped improve this player's ability in catching today, or in the basics of the toe, foot, pick in football. How many times we see it in the county football? Like, I love watching the football. The fella runs out and he forgets all of a sudden, puts down the hands, picks the ball, and then he puts the foot through, and the county refs give him 3, and all the lads are all up and down because, no, I did total. He didn't. He picked it up firstly, but his foot underneath it. I did it because I played football myself and I know what goes on. And the last thing I'm going to say to you lads is this. I took a team of 12-year-olds 1 year down to Ormore in Waterford. And I went down there thinking I was the greatest coach in Ireland. Right? And I had fellas of all different standards with me. And I was pumped up now, and I was really driving the lads, It was like an All-Ireland final for me. And during the course of the game, we were playing the Kilkenny opponents. I looked down to the left, to where my corner forwards were. And there were 2 young fellas down, and they were below. 2 of my guys and 1 of the guys from Kilkenny club. And they were in together like this. And I said, what's going on down there? So instead of shouting down, get out to your positions, I walked down. Right? And I will never forget it. One of the lads was here standing with the other player, right? And he was showing him, I don't know, was it Superman or Action Man or what man, right? And you know, I came out of it that day and I said to myself, going forward until they were 16 years old, I said, I'll treat them all very fairly, but I'll bring back my own desires and levels back to small, and I'll try and work with them like we should today in Ireland. You know, we know what Ireland's all about. It's difficult enough. Like, I have great friends gone to Australia and everything. I know what it is. I've got, you know, that's happening. And at the end of the day, all we can do, lads, as a group of people working in the GAA, is make sure that we make it a safe environment, a good environment, where lads learn and get something out of it. Like, if you don't win, well and good. I believe if you can just provide for the young fellas, make them better athletes, make them better people through the game, with a bit of respect for their opponent and a bit of respect for yourself as a coach, that's a plus in itself, lads. Winning will take care of itself, you know. And if you ever want to watch a movie as well, before I go, I always say it's a great movie to watch. I don't know if any of you have ever seen it. Go Big Green. Have you ever seen it? Huh? Any of you ever see it? Any of you got kids my age group? Okay? There's this movie called Go Big Green. I would advise anyone that's in coaching to watch it. Because what you'll get is you'll get the team. What you'll see in it is you'll get a team of, you'll see a group of people that are very ordinary, who come together and they get together and they make a team of all different standards and that. And what you see is they come up against the team that walk out in the field, you know, and they've got the best of shorts, the best of tops, and they look the most organised group of fellas in the world. And the two differences in ethos is this: the gang that are all well dressed up and everything at underage, or win at all costs. Win at all costs. We'll do something filthy. We'll do some stroke to do something to some young fella. Win at all costs gang versus the gang that are just put together, who finally get a top and they appreciate it so much, you know. And they end up in the end of the story, there's a great whole twist to it, they end up in the end like pulling off a great win against the lads. But all along as you see the story developing, and what you see in the story is how young fellas treat or deal with the game at, say, the age of 10, 12 or 11. Now it's another code, I'm not going to say what code it is, but what I would say, like, lads, you know, you don't have to have an ego going out of here today to go away and get that out of a rental shop and look at it. You don't have to have an ego to do that. All you need to be is just an ordinary Irish guy. Get it, have a look at it, see what you think. That's my rule in it. Are you alright, lads? Everyone else? Anyone else got anything else to say, no?